Good morning. What we're going to do this morning, we're going to work on a Whirlpool electric range. You'll sometimes, if you have problems with the heating in your oven, it's not staying consistent, you could have three things pretty much could go wrong. One is your heating element, which is inside your stove, which we'll look at in a few minutes. The other thing is a thermostat, or it could be your main control board. What I'm going to do this morning, just to show you, I'm going to pull out and replace all three of those. So my first thought though is look at the heating element inside the oven. Quite often that is your first problem. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take the element out of this stove and I'll show you in a few minutes why, because this is probably the easiest thing to check. And if you're not getting consistent heat, what this particular stove did was it came up to temperature and then it would drop. Now the unit itself said it was fine, but it wasn't, because I knew the temperature was off. So I took an external thermometer. I took a digital thermometer, which I use for the grill, and I put it inside the oven and compared what the motherboard said versus what the external thermometer said. And what it would do, it would come up to about 300 degrees and then it would start dropping. And drop, 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 drop. Even though this said 350, the oven was actually down to about 250. So we're gonna, here in a few minutes, I'll go ahead and take this off and then we'll turn the thing, and I'll show you the inside of it. But what I did is just take two screws off here, lift this out, and what we've got is two plugs. These two plug directly to the heating element inside the stove. So all you do is unplug these. I may have to go grab a pair of pliers. There we go. Are there a pair of pliers right there? Okay, now I'm back here with a pair of pliers. All I'm going to do is pull these off, but you want to pull them evenly. You don't want to grab the wire up here. You know, I've seen people grab this wire and jerk on it, and what you do, you end up ruining your connection. So that's got a small connection there. So you do the same thing on the other side and pull these off. Now, this goes to the left and this goes to the right. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put a piece of tape on that thing, just so I remember this is the right side. You know, you can mark it if you want. Some people do. I'll just take my little piece of tape and put an R on it. There's only two. There's a right and a left. So I marked that one as the right. Now when I come back to do this, I won't have any confusion whatsoever. This you leave alone. This is your power cord for your main unit. All we're trying to do is unhook the heating element, and we'll stop the video here and I'll turn this all around and we'll come back to you in a second. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to change out the heating element. We had went on the back and we had disconnected the electrical. I already took one screw out, and as you can see back here is another screw. So you've got two screws, one in each corner. And what you want to do, this thing, the front goes in and the back lifts up. So when you go to put it back, make sure you put the front in and then the back. So just reading reach in here, tilt it, and take it out. And when you take this out, I don't know if you can see it or not with the video, but right there is where this element has burned. So that is our problem. That's why this oven won't stay consistently hot. So all you got to do is come in here, and you can see there's a screw inside. Boy. There we go. So we got this screw loose, which holds down the front of this frame. And then in the back, there's another screw, which holds the whole element in. So we've taken that screw out. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave my screws just laying in here in the bottom so that I know where they're at. At this point, take this element out, and we're going to order a new part and replace this, and we'll pause the video and we'll come back to you when we get ready to install the new element. But it's very simple, very easy to do. You could save yourself a $100 service charge at least. So we'll pause now and come back to you when we put the heating element, the new one, in. So what we're going to do, we're back. The other day I had showed you guys how to replace a thermostat and a motherboard on an oven. Today we're going to finish up by putting in a new element in the oven. So this new element came. What we want to do, we want to take it, and right here we can see the holes where it goes through the back. You kind of tilt it just a little, and you got to work it through that hole in the back. Be very careful with this. Okay, so the element is through, and you've got a little bracket up front here that you screw in to hold it from the front. That in. We've got another screw that goes in the back. We can see this hole. That good and snug. Then we'll take and put the base back in. Remember, when you put this in, you'll want to go and kind of lift the back, slide it under the lip, and then drop it down. And it'll, if I can see this hole here, it'll go, that one will screw back in there. tighten it all the way until I get the other one in case I've got to give it a little wiggle. Sometimes you do. Okay. So then I think once we're done with this, we'll get these tightened down. I think we're going to throw a little oven cleaner in here before we restart it. And get this oven all set and cleaned. And be back in business. Now see, the only other thing that you ever could have go with this is this stove actually has a fan in the back. So if you wanted to do on this stove, you can actually have the fan running in the back and do a convection oven. Kind of like commercial ovens. It has a fan in the back. But if the temperature's not holding, sometimes you might want to check that convection fan. But on this one, the convection fan is fine. The element's been replaced. The motherboard's been replaced. And the element's been replaced. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go around back of it and finish hooking it up, and then let's see how it works. So as we talked about before, when we disconnected the old one, I've got two wires basically, and I marked this one right and left so that I wouldn't have any confusion as to where they went. So pretty simple, slides back on. I think I'm gonna take this little piece of tape off here, maybe, and slide it back on. Make sure it's all the way. And as you can see, we had unplugged it. You always want to unplug these things. I may have to slide it here a little bit before I can plug it back in. But you've got the idea. That's all there is to it. We're finished with it. Now I'll slide it back, plug it in, turn it on, and we're in business. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.